Okay, my name is Panya Banjoko, and I am one of the founders of Nottingham Black Archive. Basically, Nottingham Black Archive was set up to document and conserve Black history, heritage and culture right here in Nottingham. We have in our collection records dating back to 1960, and we will continue to collect anything about the Black presence here in Nottingham.
Okay. My name's Ioney. I joined Nottingham Black Archive 4 years ago. So I'm the filmmaker, marketing manager person, and help organise the events and liaise with the community as well.
Okay, what can you find in the archive? When you go into the recesses of the archive, what can you find there? You can find...
A new world.
It is, it's a new world. You can find a range of stories, because we collect oral histories. You can find a range of stories about the people from the Caribbean who came to Nottingham in the 50s. You can find stories about the World War II veterans, people who fought in World War II as RAF, radar operators, firemen, etc., etc. You can find a whole range of paraphernalia, including newsletters, books, official documents from one of the oldest Black organisations in Nottingham, which is the ACNA Centre. You can find photographs. What can you find?
The kiddie lamp. The kitty lamp.
Yes.
I wonder if that's the clean version of the name. It has like a dirtier version. But
it does.
That's the lamp used in the blackouts in Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. We've actually had one made. One of my favourite parts of the archive was documenting some of Mr. Powell's life as an activist, community activist. Mr. Powell was a very colourful and intelligent and caring man who loved his Black community. And there's one particular story when he was talking about visiting a pub and he wasn't allowed to be served. So, like Mr. Powell would, he organised himself and his troops, and they went there, I think, a couple of times, like every day, just to sit at the pub, just to, peaceful protest. And it did get a bit colourful.
It did.
But Mr. Powell being Mr. Powell, he made his mark. So, just some of the stories you hear, the letters, and sometimes you see these elderly people and you think, oh, aren't they cute? But and they are lovely and they are cute, but when you get to talk to them and you hear the stories, what they've done, like Mr. Murphy in the Merchant Navy, his boat got tornadoed and he got shipwrecked, floated off to Nova Scotia, and now he's a 90-year-old man and he's sitting in his armchair, but he has a wealth of knowledge and experience which deserves to be heard, not just by the Black community, but by the wider community, because for me, Black history is world history.
I mean, going back to Mr. Murphy and Mr. Brown, the ship that they was on, the Refast, the ship, that was torpedoed 3 times, 3 times in one day, and they survived to tell the tale of what that was like, being in a lifeboat for 20 hours in freezing cold conditions. And if it hadn't have been for Victor Brown, who had the wherewithal to find an axe and chop the rope that had tangled up the lifeboat, the whole of that ship would have perished. So we have stories like that in the archive.
We've got heroes.
Come on.
The heroes.
What more do you want? It's just...
Very exciting.
It is. So you name it, we got it. Today you'll see us and we're kind of just military.
Military.
Yeah, military.
Not because we're hard people, but because we had a particular event on today.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not wearing my hat at the moment, but this is all part of a project that's called In Memories of the Million, and we're commemorating the millions of people from the Commonwealth who fought in the world wars. And so today we've had an event on, and we thought it would be fitting to be in costume. So I think, I'm not quite sure about the stripes, if that makes me a sergeant or an admiral or whatever.
You've got a few stars there, haven't you?
I have. That one is for eating lots of chocolate cakes, and that one is for being brave when I've ate the chocolate cakes and not worrying about my waistline.
Oh, okay. But as well, with Nottingham Black Archive, we don't just want the information to sit in the archive collecting dust. We want to bring it to life. So this is what we do with the events. We showcase what we've learned. We share it with the community, because that's what it's about. There's no point having this information and no one knowing about it. So you know, we're trying to be creative in the way we do this. We're making films. In the future, we want to do lots of creative things to bring to life our archive, our findings. So dressing up in costumes is just one of them.
Maybe a bit of drama in the future.
Maybe.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Maybe. So Nottingham Black Archive really works through a team of volunteers. You have your top tier, which is people like myself and Ioney, who do a lot of the, rolling up the sleeves and doing a lot of the dirty work. But then we also have a team which we call the Council of Elders, and they advise us, make suggestions, and also actually roll up their sleeves and get involved in the process as well. And our Council of Elders is made up of a wide selection of people. So we have people like Jill Westby, who is the widow of George Powell, and we have people like Pittman Brown.
Pittman Brown. What a legend. And so Pittman Brown, he's a legend.
Yes.
He's a pianist, a poet.
Yes.
He's a comedian?
I would say so.
A comedian?
Not sure if that's his vocation, but yeah, I would think so.
Okay,
yeah.
And author. He's written, how many books has he written?
Oh, quite a few actually. Quite a few books Pittman has written.
And I just think that having our Council of Elders, a partner on Black Archive, is really important. Like today, at our event, in memory of the millions, they were volunteering, getting evaluation forms, and you know, it's one of those things we want to do as well as the archive is unite the generations, get the youngers to mix with the elders, get them to share the stories. You don't just want them to be stories in boxes, but they're people with their lives. So one way for them to be involved is to volunteer at our events. But Pittman, with his wealth of skills, he does perform for us, and it's always a pleasure to see Pittman. He always warms your heart, and
it does.
If you're having a bad day, chat to Pittman. Yeah,
and I was just going to say, actually, I mean, the whole way the Council of Elders came about was that we, one of our first projects was the intergenerational project, where we worked with the elders and we teamed them up with some youngers. The youngers got trained in interview skills and then went and interviewed the elders and found out a little bit about them. And then through that process, we found out that the elders, they're retired, and they were kind of feeling a little bit like, well, society's finished with us. And so we, as Nottingham Black Archive, thought, no, society has not finished with you.
We haven't finished with you.
Yes, we have jobs that you can do. And they feel really proud of the fact that they can still continue to contribute to their community. And so, that's how that came about, really.